everyone, it's Shel from Paper Octio Studio, and today is day 10 of hashtag Art Journal Habit 2017, a month-long daily art journaling challenge with a video every day. Some of you might say to yourselves, if you've been watching and following along, well then where is the video from yesterday? The answer to that is every Thursday at 10 o'clock Central Time, well, almost every Thursday. I mean, obviously Thanksgiving's Thursday this month. We won't be on that day, but most Thursdays I am on the live channel, which is Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel with Peg Robinson. It's our shared channel for being live on YouTube. And so if it's Thursday, that means that the art journal page was done on the live stream channel. So you can go over there and look at that live video to see that art journal page as well as Peg's at the same time. So for today, the prompt is work. And I had these printouts of pictures of art that I have done in the past. When I make something, whether it's something for someone else that I give away or something that I still have, I take a picture. Usually that's because I need the pictures for the videos, but it's just kind of an interesting record of what you've done. And since I have it all in folders on my computer, I can go and change the view on the folder to extra large icons, and I can look at where I've been, what I've done, how much my style has changed, how my ability has become better. You know, it's an interesting chronicle. And another thing that I can do, or that any of you can do, is to print out those pictures and use them in art again. And something that I have done, not recently, but I have done before, is to print out tiny little picture of a piece of art that I've done in the past. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words today. And use it to make jewelry. I've done it with glass slides, and put the picture behind it and then sealed it in, and also with dominoes to make like pendants. That's something that you can do. There's bracelet blanks, and you can reuse your art to do, you can reuse it as well as look at it. So these printouts were printouts that I made. I just basically took, a screenshot and printed out all the extra large icons of pictures. And I had them, and they're not very good quality. If you really want to use them, you need to do them like either print really high quality, like a picture type of version of the print, or else have it done at a place that does it with a laser printer. They're even better that way. But these aren't that good of quality, and I thought, well, if the prompt is work, what do I do as work besides, laundry and dishes and horrible stuff like that? I also work as an artist. I don't get paid very well, but I still consider it work because it's something that I do, to produce something, to create something, to put something out into the world. My work is art. So I decided to use these little printouts that I had and use them as the background of my page. And so I also had I also printed out a couple pieces to cover more space. I didn't have enough of these tiny ones to cover the whole thing, of art supplies and of desks, what they look like with art supplies on them. And I glued all those pieces, and this is all printed on my inkjet printer, so quality not super high. Will it smear? Yes. So I made sure to seal it in really well with matte gel medium. And then I used finger painting to kind of unify by adding some color in between with my finger. And then I also muted everything slightly by going over it with a 2-inch rubber brayer and some white gesso just gently to make it kind of all blend in as to one big background. So that's how I made the background of the page. And I had an idea of what I was going to do, but I wasn't exactly, I've been traveling. I know you guys, some of you know that I was gone for 2 weeks. The art on my channel didn't change because I pre-recorded everything before I left. But when you're in a different environment, in a different situation, I did zero art for 2 weeks because I was with my mom, and I went from my personal high pressure, what I do, how I, get everything done, and my personality is like that, and I have a list and an agenda, and I'm going to do it. I went from that to doing almost nothing, to going to the pool or going to the grocery store as being my biggest activities for 2 weeks with my mom. And we went on one city tour, but basically our whole activity was to decide where we were going to go to dinner. And maybe we went somewhere to get some groceries or some water or something. So coming back from that, after pushing so hard to get all these videos pre-recorded and everything, I'm like really out of it. I'm out of practice, out of I don't know what you call it, but the way I was before is not the way I am now. So this page did not go as I had an idea, but it didn't go exactly as I wanted. I didn't feel like I was in the groove. I didn't feel like I had my mojo. It was a struggle to do this, struggle to do it. But I think it's okay. It's not my favorite page in the world, but I think it's okay now that I'm done with it. When I first finished it, I was like, I hate this. I hate this. I wish I could just paint over the whole thing. But I was going with my idea because that was the idea that I had. So to kind of finish unifying my background, I went ahead and did some stenciling over the top with some Dilutions paints. And then now I'm trying to draw, and my drawing is not going the way I wanted it. I'm frustrated. I know what I want, and it's not coming out exactly the way I want. And this is something that everyone struggles with. This is something that you all have happen. You have an idea of something, and the art journal page doesn't come out the way you want it. And we all just need to get over that. The art journal page wants to be what it wants to be, and the whole process of art journaling is expressing that thing that is inside you that you want out. You want to express yourself. You want to try to convey a feeling using your ideas, and it almost never comes out exactly the way you want. Sometimes it's closer than other times. So I'm drawing a figure at a desk working on art, and my body positioning is weird. The angle of the desk is weird. How do the legs go? How does the chair go? It was almost more than I could handle for that day. I got through it. I persevered. And this is what you have to do. You have to just keep working. And so as a result, this page this page should have been a quick page. It's some collaging. It's a little bit of stenciling. It's some drawing. And that's it. It's not fine art. It's not the Mona Lisa. But oh man, was I just like, the hands made me mad. The arms made me mad. I couldn't get the face right. Yeah. So what I want to say about all that, I'm not whining and complaining. I just want to say that if that happens to you, just let it be. Just continue doing what you're doing, and it will be okay. If it's not your favorite page you've ever done in your life, that's okay. It's, it absolutely conveys what I meant to say. It talks about my work It talks about, I don't know, the colors that I like. It has my work on it. It has art supplies on it. It's everything that I like. It just didn't come out the way I wanted, I guess. I know. Quit complaining. Quit complaining, Shel. Get over yourself. I know. I know. So, yeah, I'm drawing up a girl and she's sitting at the desk, and the technique that I wanted to use was to exclude the background and to let all that color and life and art fill in the image. I call this technique in my own head exclusion because you're excluding the background. That's not what other people call it, and I can't remember what it is that they call it. It's something that is used in mixed media pretty frequently, and it's really commonly used in tattooing, because a lot of times a tattoo lets your own natural skin be the highlight of the tattoo, and then only filling in with shadows. I don't know if you guys are interested in tattooing, but I like to watch. I don't have a lot of tattoos, but I like to watch tattoo shows, and I think the art is interesting. I think the challenges of what I do as opposed to what a tattoo artist would do are interesting. So I've noticed after watching some of the shows quite a lot that they do this type of a technique frequently, especially in black and gray, because in black and gray there isn't any white. It's skin is the white. Even if your skin is dark, skin is still the white. And occasionally they do put in a white highlight of a white ink, but I don't think they do it very much because it doesn't last. The white highlights don't last on skin. That's like the first color that will go away. I would like to go watch tattoo artists in real, but I don't think they would let me just sit there. I know that one of the ink masters from that show, the one that won, one of the people that won, it has a shop in Tucson. I don't know where it is, but I would just like to go watch. I don't think they would let me do it though. Open studio night at the tattoo parlor. That'd be cool. I think they should do it. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I am taking some watercolor paint. This is truly mixed media because first I did collage, then I did acrylic, and then I did some drawing with a pen, and then now I'm using watercolor over the top. And that little bit of brayering of gesso really helps out this watercolor be able to stay, but I'm going to have to probably, if I really want it to be forever and forever, I'm going to have to go and spray it with something stinky. My usual sealing of using beeswax, if I rub the beeswax on this, it's going to rub the watercolor off. So that's just a little hint. Don't rub beeswax on this type of a technique because it won't remove it all, but it'll remove a lot of the watercolor that you put over the top of the acrylic, which really has nothing to stick to because gel medium and acrylic paint are plasticky and watercolor is watercolor. But it looks cool. I didn't want to use acrylic because it would cover up too much of the background, and I wanted the background, while being pushed back and, made to be less important, I still wanted it to stand through. So, and by doing that, by adding that shadow and changing the background, it makes my drawing come forward and stand out. So then I had a quote, and I decided to draw the quote in my own handwriting. And like you do in graphics, sometimes making letters in different fonts and bigger and smaller make something like this more dynamic. I still wanted to use the same technique of pushing back the background and making the letters stand forward and having the letters be full of the interesting collage in the background. So excluding the background is what I call it. Yeah, I don't think that's what it's really called. You can call it what you want because you know what? It's your art. And if you want to call it what you want, then you can. So once I made some lines to help me keep everything straight. I made 2 lines so that my bigger letters wouldn't get bigger than each other. That's something that my writing is not my favorite. Very likely I would make the G start out as one size, and then by the K, the K would be a different size. So that's the reason that I made the lines, and then I also put a line in the center of the page so that I would be able to figure out what letter went in the center so that I could get everything kind of pretty well centered on the page. Because I knew I was making it big and I'm not collaging it, so that means I can't reposition it. Once it's on there, it's on there. So I drew it in pencil and then went back over it with my black Posca pen, but I decided that that wasn't thick enough, and so I got out the brush sized pen from my Faber-Castell pen, artist pens that I use for illustration. The brush can make, if you press medium hard, it can make a pretty fat line. So I went over it again with that brush to make it, really dark. Then I used a smaller pen to kind of add some details to the face, and adding another layer of watercolor to kind of make the face more face colored. Then I started to go around the letters with the black, and I decided I didn't like that. Too dark, didn't want to exclude that much of the background. So obviously you can do this technique with whatever color you want. If you don't want to do it in black, you don't have to. So I used some different color watercolor. I used some magenta to go around the word love, and then I used teal. I mixed a blue and a green on there to go around the words great work, and I had them darker around the letters and then blended it out with water so that it shows a lot of the interesting background that I worked so hard on and doesn't eliminate it so much. Makes the letters come forward, makes the background go back, pushes it back. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I haven't done this technique in a while and I really like it. I enjoy it a lot, and I like the look of it. I like looking at other people's art. There's a couple artists that I follow, and don't ask me their names because I don't really know. I'm terrible with names, but on Instagram there's a few that I really enjoy their work, and they're not like me. They do the same thing over and over in different ways, and so their work is very identifiable. As you're scrolling through Instagram, you see, oh, that's that person's work. You know it, you recognize it, it's what they do. And a few of them use this type of a technique of making a very interesting background and then excluding parts of it and making whatever they are making, whether it's flowers or animals or whatever, come forward. And I love the look of it. So I need to do it more in bigger scale on canvases so that I can put them around my house. It would be great. So then, of course, out comes the white Posca pen because, why wouldn't it? I really need to remind myself, start at the top and work your way down so that you're not dragging your hand through what you just did. I always forget. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But I added white lines, like a drop shadow or a drop highlight to the cursive letters, and then all the way around the edges of the bigger letters, and then just a few lines here and there around my girl sitting at the desk. I decided she needed to have something on her paper, and of course it's going to be a heart because it's all about love and loving what you do and loving your work. And I love hearts. Then this one side over here was looking pretty bare, so I cut out 3 of these little pictures of art that I've done in the past and attached those as if they were hanging on the wall in the studio Actually, I don't own any of those pieces anymore. They're at other people's houses. They're paper painted canvases that I've sold. But if they still lived here, they'd be on the wall. Outlined those, and I was pretty much done. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't, turn on your notifications, and share if you want to. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.